Hello, friends, and welcome to the Consecrated Life Project. My name is Livia Putris. I'm so grateful to be with you today and to share with you kind of the story on the back end of where the Consecrated Life Project came from, how it began, and what we're going with and where we're going forward. So I encourage you to join me on this journey as we come closer to Christ and be able to learn how to more fully trust Him to lead our lives into those divine assignments that we've been given, that we can accomplish them peacefully and happily, and to do that with the support of those around us who are also on the path of following Christ. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's go back. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me, where I came from, and my story. So when I was in high school and college, I was very much involved in gospel learning and seminary and an institute, and I had I think 3 different institutes, and I took mission prep 3 times, and I was involved and absorbed in the gospel of Jesus Christ and really learning and studying, and I was planning to go on a mission and to serve, and I ended up getting married because I knew that was God's will for me. And in the process of this, He's taken me on my own mission and my faith building journey just through life, and it's been a really cool experience. So I found myself pregnant with, I think, baby number 5 or 5, one of them. I have 5 children. And I was realizing that I was still doing the motions. I was reading my scriptures, I was saying my prayers, I was going to church, I was doing all the things. And yet I didn't feel that deep love in my heart that I had before, and that the spiritual nourishment, let's say that. I didn't feel the spiritual nourishment that I had before. It was like I was doing it, but I was kind of frustrated because everything was busy with life. And so I was doing the actions, but they weren't really sinking into my soul. And I would miss those times of seminary and of institute and of that spiritual feeding that I had before, and it wasn't there anymore. And I realized I had some experiences that woke me up. And I realized that I had allowed myself to get into this kind of a lull. They talk about how Satan lulls you down into security and thinking that, all is well, and you don't really take the time to nourish your spirit like you did before. And I found myself in that place. And I kind of woke up and I was like, oh my heck, what happened to me? I'm not okay with this. And so I decided at that moment that I was going to really pour my heart and soul into making my relationship with God my number 1 highest priority. And it has been an amazing journey as I made that commitment to Him, to put Him first, and to realize that, yes, reading my scriptures and really feeling the Spirit is more important than washing my dishes. And it's more important than doing the laundry. And if I do that first, I find that time is expanded and I'm able to do the things that I need to get done for my family and do it more joyfully because I have that foundation in Christ that's solid. And I love it so much. And so I had this commitment, and I had hurt my foot. I sprained it a couple times. I think I broke it once. And one of these times I was laying in my bed, probably, it's 2019 now, so it was like 3 years ago. I was laying in bed and sitting there kind of like, I wish I could do more, and I don't feel like I can really take care of my family how I want to, because I'm in bed and I can hardly walk, right? And my kids are helping take care of me and all of this stuff. And I was just kind of feeling that overwhelmed. And I'm like, hey, God, you've taught me. I've been in the personal development world for a few years now, and I've been focusing on changing my thoughts and changing my words and mentoring and coaching different people as well as myself, and working through these tools that help me to stay in a positive space and to really give my heart and soul to Him. And I'm like, it works really well, but sometimes on those busy days, it's like, oh wait, did I write those down, or what did I change it to this week, and what am I repeating this week that's going to help me stay strong? And I'm like, God, I was just praying, and I'm like, hey, I just want 3 sentences. Give me 3 sentences that I can hold on to that will give me strength no matter what comes. And the ones that'll just pop into your head. You know how those primary songs or the hymns will just come into your head when you need them because you've taken the time to memorize them or to know them. And so God can bring those things to your remembrance when you need them in order to give you strength to keep going in whatever it is that you're doing. And I'm like, hey, praying, please, I just need 3 sentences. Just give me 3 that I can hold in my heart that will come to me whenever it is that I need them. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And so I sat there, and that was my prayer. And I had my paper there ready to write it down, because I find that if I have a paper when I'm asking for revelation, that he's more likely to give it to me. And then if I write it down, then I get more and more and more. And that's how so many of the things that I've created have come to be, is because God flows it through me when I'm prepared. And this was one of the first experiences of how powerful that really can be for me. So I sat there ready to write these things down, and I was writing, and then it got longer than 3 sentences, and 4 and 5 and 6, and I was like, oh my gosh, it just keeps coming. And by the time I was done, I had an entire notebook paper, front and back, covered in words. And it was this beautiful poem that came out, and it is called Consecrated Life. And when this came out, I was like, oh my goodness. And my heart was so filled with gratitude. Just like, hey, thank you, thank you. I asked for 3 sentences, and it really is that God multiplies, and he gives it to you 100-fold, and he grants you blessings that are greater than you could ever imagine. Like, I have a hard time writing roses are red, violets are blue. And to see this gorgeous poem that came out of me was like, whoa. And so I have a struggle actually on the back of it. It talks about the story, and it says that it flowed through me. I don't claim that I wrote it, because it really came from heaven. It was like a divine conduit through my brain and out onto the paper. And it was really cool, because I read the whole thing. It's like, hey, is this right? This part doesn't feel right. And God's like, no, switch this part and edit it here. And he edited the whole thing. And in about 10 minutes, I had this amazing poem that gives me strength every single day. And I wanted something I can memorize. And I thought, oh, this is so big. Now it's great. It's something else that I have, but it's not something that I can memorize. And I had memorized it within like 6 months or a year or something. And it's so beautiful, and it brings me strength every single day. So I'm going to share that with you. It has given me so much strength. As soon as I was done, I got an inspiration, and he said, okay, call this lady. You met her once, a year and a half ago, and you've not talked to her since, but I want you to call her and read her this poem. And I was like, okay, interesting. Okay, I'll do it, because I'm committed to do whatever he tells me to do. And so I called her and I read it to her, and it turned out she had just been in an accident and was recovering and in pretty bad shape, having a hard time with a brain injury and things. And reading that to her was exactly what she needed in that moment. And little did I know the impact that this one poem and that one decision to act on that prompting would do. It led me to a year or so later, ending up in California to do an interview that happened because of that one interaction. And I'm not sure that was there so much for the interview, but I was more there for what I learned in the process, what I learned in the journey, the friends that I made, the testimony I have of the miracles and the ways that God provides for us when we follow him, and the amazing connections and the solidity of who I am and of the life I want versus the life I don't. And that was a beautiful experience, and I've learned so much. So I'm going to invite you right now. I'm going to share this poem with you, the one that started it all. And I pray that it will guide you, and it will touch your heart, and you'll receive the inspiration through the Spirit of whatever it is that you need in this moment. I invite you, if you're sitting, go ahead and put your feet flat on the floor. You're standing. Take a deep breath for me. Get grounded. And I like to just think I am grounded in Jesus Christ, because if I'm really focusing on my firm foundation as a daughter of God, that I choose to be grounded in him, not just grounded to the earth, but grounded in the truth of who I am as a daughter of God, and of who he is as my Savior, and his ability to heal us and to transform our lives and to take our weaknesses and change them into strength. And anything that we might be dealing with, that he has the ability to bring peace to our heart and comfort to our souls and to strengthen us in all things. That I know. Go ahead and take a deep breath. I'm going to read it to you. I now embark on a journey that's mine, as promised to Father in premortal time. I honor my mission and keep my conduit clear by consciously choosing what I eat, think, and hear. I listen intently and I hear his voice. I'm lovingly guided in every choice. I live in faith and give him all my stuff. I breathe and know that my best is enough. All I experience is in his design, for he is beside me and I know I am divine. I go forth with courage to do all he asks. With angelic support, I complete all my tasks. I show up to serve authentically and know I love best when I'm true to me. I share his love the world around. Joy fills hearts and truth is found. Aligned with God, there is no fear. I serve his children and feel him near. Pressing forward, I'm changed inside. Through Jesus Christ, I'm sanctified. I live and love my abundant life. Uniting with God ends all the strife. I step into flow of give and receive. Studying truth helps me to achieve all of my righteous heart's desires and all the Father of me requires. I ask, he answers. This truth I know. Trusting in him helps me to grow into the person I'm meant to be, to create with him for eternity. Deep breath. How does that feel? I would love to hear your experience and how that felt for you. So if you want to email it to me, go ahead and send it to Livia, Livia, at learnlivefly.com. That's my email. You can send that there and let me know how it impacted you, or if you were driving or whatever, you couldn't stop and be calm, maybe go back and listen to it again. And just allow yourself to really feel into that. And what do those words mean to you? So this is what it turned into. I'm a graphic designer and photographer. This picture is one that I saw at a conference a few years back, and it was an 8-foot tall picture, a painting of Christ, and he's standing on the beach and his hands are out like this. And when this poem came through me, it was very clear in my heart that this is the picture that was supposed to go with this poem, because it reminds me constantly that Christ is there and that he performed the atonement for us. And he's sitting there and he's like, hey, give me your stuff. Give me all of it, every single bit. I'm here and I'm waiting for it. All you have to do is pick it up and put it in my hand. You just give it to me. You say, I want you to take it, and I will, and it's gone. He's not going to reach out and say, give me your anger and give me your frustration and give me your heart, and I'm going to take it, because that takes our agency. And the greatest gift that we have is our agency. And so Christ is there lovingly guiding us, lovingly petitioning us to come unto him, and that he will take all of our burdens and all of our pains and all of our sorrows and turn our weaknesses into strength, and that he's there for us. So I love that picture. The artist is Kendra Burton. You can find her at kendraburton.com, and it's called Jesus Heals. And the next episode here on the Consecrated Life Project, you'll be able to hear her and her story and a little bit more of that. And it's such an honor for me to interview her and all the other people who are part of this project. And if you have a story of faith in Christ and your journey of really coming to say, you know what? Yes, life isn't perfect. Yes, I have challenges, but I found that life is better with God, and that I'm going to give my life to you. And I'm going to say, Lord, I will follow thee. I will follow you now, and I will follow you wherever you guide me, even if it doesn't make sense in my mortal brain, even if the people around me don't get it. But when I know it in my heart and I know it in my soul, and I know that you're guiding me, that things will work out. Yes, we'll still have our challenges. Yes, we'll still have our trials, but we won't feel the weight of them because of the atonement of Jesus Christ and because of what he has done to help us and to lift us and to strengthen us. So this is the bookmark. The back has the story, like I was telling you, about where it came from, as well as Kendra's website, so you can link to that. It also turned, so I designed that, and this is actually version 2. And then it came into a poster. And then about a year or so later, God inspired me to do a series on it. And I did a 6-part interview series with people that I had found that I felt really, really embodied what I was trying to accomplish with this poem. Not that I was trying anything. God just gave it to me and then said, okay, this is what it's all about. The people who are really trying to live this consecrated life of really trusting God in the process and allowing him to guide them, whether that's through a job change or increasing a talent or moving their family across the country or whatever these things are that God inspires us to do, trusting in him because he has the power to see. He has this grand view. I might be mortal and I might see this much in my view, but God is like, oh, and he sees the immensity of space. And I love, there's a poem that my grandma, it was her favorite poem, and she talked about how God is the master weaver. And there's lights and there's darks, and they all weave together into this glorious masterpiece. And that we go into this masterpiece, and he has the ability to move us, to inspire us, to talk to that person, to drive down that street, to reach out to that friend, to do the little things that bless his children in just the ways that they need and help them to have that confirmation that he is there and that he loves them no matter what they're going through and wherever they're at. So I interviewed these people and it became a series, and it was just a thing, and I had a bunch of people who joined it and they watched it and they learned from it. And then I kind of put it on the shelf, and I was like, I knew there was more for it, but I was absorbed in my life and everything that was going on, and I didn't go farther with it at that point. I do have an entire 6-month course of a journey to my consecrated life that I designed, and thought about doing like a monthly call where we discuss each of these lines and the depth of what it means and how that applies in our lives, things like that. And so I've got all these ideas in my head, and I have a magazine that's been mocked up, and a podcast idea, and books, and all the things that have wanted to be part of this. And then spring 2019, ish, I think that's when it was, and God said, go. He said, it's bigger than you can ever imagine. This isn't just a poem. It isn't just a bookmark. It isn't just for each person you find on the street or you meet that I say, hey, give them one, they need it today. But it's a global movement for Christ. And it is uniting the followers of Christ to share their stories, to share the depth behind it of, yeah, this is what I'm doing. From the outside, it might look like, hey, I started a company, or I opened a business, or I moved my family from here to there. But it shares the depth. It shares the real stories of real people, and the hard and the good and the blessings and the miracles and the ways that God works in our lives and the things that we've learned through that. And we share the tips and the tools and the techniques and the resources that we've found that have blessed us on our journey. So I encourage you to join me. You can find us at consecratedlife.learnlivefly.com. Look at it there. There's a Facebook group where you can join, and just check it out. If you want to be a sponsor or a supporter, we would love you forever, because we're running totally on sponsors and supporters, because I really feel this needs to be free for anyone who seeks to follow Christ to be able to receive blessings from that. So if you can use any of the resources on there or shop any of the things that I've created as I put them up, I would appreciate that as well, and that would also help to move this work forward. Thank you for being with me. I appreciate you, and I pray for blessings on you and your family and your journey as you seek to let him lead your life. Until next time.